of the bereaved families are entering the venue for this 64th Memorial Day ceremony.
모두 자리에 앉아 주시기 바랍니다.
Please be seated.
네, 여러분 안녕하십니까?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will be presiding over the 64th Memorial Day ceremony. I'm Lee Hyun-ju. Thank you for joining us today despite your busy schedules.
다시 한번 감사의 말씀을 전해드립니다. 오늘 이 추념식은
Today's ceremony is held to remember the sacrifice of the fallen heroes and to honor the sacrifice of the fallen heroes who have made today's Republic of Korea possible. And today, we will remember and honor the martyrs and the fallen heroes and pay respect to all of them.
다시 한번 말씀드리지만 오늘 이 추념식은
Once again, today's ceremony is held to remember and honor the sacrifice of the fallen heroes and the martyrs who have dedicated their lives for the nation.
모두 경건한 마음으로 함께 추념식을 진행해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
In just a moment, we will begin the 64th Memorial Day ceremony.
참석해 주신 내빈 여러분들께서는 모두 자리에 앉아 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Please be seated.
오늘 제64회 현충일 추념식은
The 64th Memorial Day ceremony is being held with the aim to honor the sacrifice of the fallen heroes and the martyrs who have dedicated their lives for the nation. And now let us begin the 64th Memorial Day ceremony. Please rise from where you are. June 6th, 10 a.m., the time for all citizens to become one. We'll now pay silent tribute to the patriotic martyrs and those who sacrificed their lives for the nation. Silent tribute.
바로
Rest.
다음은 국기에 대한
Now
경례를
pledge of
하겠습니다.
allegiance to the
모두
flag.
전면
Please
좌측에
face the
국기를
flag
향해
in
주시기
front of you.
바랍니다. 국기에 대하여
Allegiance
경례.
to the flag. I pledge in front of Aegukga allegiance to the Republic of Korea for the eternal glory of the country, liberty, and justice.
바로
Rest.
다음은 애국가를
Next, the
제창하겠습니다.
Aegukga will be sung in unison. It will be sung in unison until the fourth verse, led by Private First Class Kim Min-seop, Bang Sung-jun, Lee Chang-seop, Shin Dong-woo, and Private Cha Ha-kyun.
선도로 4절까지 부르겠습니다. 다음은 헌화 분향 및
Next, floral
순국선열과
tribute, incense
호국영령에 대한
burning, and paying
분명을
tribute to the
올리겠습니다.
patriotic martyrs and those who sacrificed their lives for the nation. President and the First Lady, together with patriots, war veterans, representatives of the bereaved families, head of veteran organizations, student representatives, major political figures, and distinguished guests will lay the floral tribute. Please rise from where you are for the floral tribute and to pay tribute to the fallen soldiers. Those taking part in the floral tribute are President Kim Won-woo of the Korea Liberation Association, President Kim Young-soo of the Korea War Dead Soldiers and Policemen Bereaved Family Association, President Kang Gil-ja of the Korean War Dead Soldiers and Policemen Widow Association, President Kim Dong-nam of the Korea Disabled Veterans Organization, President Park Un-wook of the Korean Volunteer Army in Japan, President Park Ki-mo of the Korean War Veterans Associations, President Park Jong-gil of the Association of Korean Recipients of the Order of Military Merit, President Moon Seung-ju of the April 19th Democracy Revolution Association, President Chung Jung-sop of the April 19th Victims and Bereaved Families Association, President Kang Young-seok of the April 19th Revolution, President Kim Jin-ho of the Korea Veterans Association, President Lee Jong-yeol of the Korea Special Missions National Merit Association, President Hwang Kyu-seung of the Korean Disabled Veterans Association by Agent Orange in Vietnam War.
Now
a moment of silent tribute to the fallen heroes. Salute.
바로
Rest.
일동 묵념
Silent tribute.
바로
Rest.
오늘 헌화 분향에는 유해봉환 독립
We are also joined today by the bereaved families of the independent martyrs whose remains have been returned home, Cho Kwan-gil, Lee Kam-ji, and Lee Myung-min. Bereaved families of the persons of national merit found during excavation of remains, Han Yu-sik, Gu Bong-ho, Gu Jung-hwan, Kim In-seok, Kim Sung-taek, Kim Hyung-jin, Kim Dae-gyu, Park Young-sik, Park Sung-won. Bereaved families of the fallen soldier of the Cheonghae Unit, Korean destroyer Choeyoung, Choi Gun-sik, and Chae Mi-young. And also Staff Sergeant Hwang Soo-yong, who rescued a high school girl in the river below the Wonhyo Bridge during his holiday. Lieutenant Kim Dae-hwan, who rescued a man from the waters of the Daegu Reservoir. Senior Fire Sergeant Chung Lee-sung, who traveled the longest distance to help with the firefighting operations in Gangwon-do. First Sergeant Kim Gyu-tae, who led the Ministry of National Defense team of excavation and identification of the remains, as well as student representatives.
모두 자리에 앉아주시기
Please be
바랍니다.
seated.
오늘의 대한민국에 있기까지
Today's Republic of Korea was possible due to the various sacrifices and courage that the many people had.
나라를 지키는 일에
To safeguard the nation,
나이와 성별, 배경,
regardless of age, gender,
않았습니다.
and background.
치열한 전투 끝에 전사하여
Many lost their lives
66년
after fierce
차가운
battles,
땅속에서
and they have
가족이
returned
품고
home
돌아온
in 6
파탈머리
decades,
고지의
and the
전투
remains
영웅.
have been found.
10대 소년부터 60대
From boys in their
노인에
tens and to
나라를
elderlies,
지키고자
those
전쟁에 참전했던
all fought during the Korean War.
16소녀를 포함한 여성
Including females of 16 years of age, as well as many women, also helped.
국가와 국민을 위한
In order to
희생,
sacrifice the nation and the public, they had their sacrifice.
국민의 생명을 지키기 위해
And to safeguard the lives of
불길로
the public,
뛰어들었으며
they entered into the fire flames.
공무 수행 중에도
And while on service, they did not spare their own body.
나라와 국민을 지켜내는
To safeguard the nation and the
나의
public,
가족,
they're my family,
동료,
they're my colleague,
이웃,
they're my neighbors,
그 어떤 희생도
and
끝까지
we will never
잊지
forget
않겠습니다.
their sacrifice.
대한민국의 이름으로
In the name of the Republic of Korea,
기억합니다.
we will remember you.
네, 매년 6월이 되면
In June
그분들에
each
대한
year, our
그리움이
longings
더
for them
커져가는 것
fill the
같습니다.
sky with deeper
그분들의 희생과
sorrows.
헌신을 생각하면
And when we
우리가
think of
누리고
their
있는
sacrifice
이
and
하루하루가
dedication,
또
we came
얼마나
to
소중한
realize
것인지
the true
다시
value
한번
of our
느끼게
ordinary
됩니다.
lives.
다음은 대통령께서
Next, the President
국가와
will
국민을
award the
지키기 위해
persons
희생
of National
헌신하신
Merit
분에 대해
Certificates to the
국가
bereaved
유공자
families of the
증서를
veterans who
수여하시겠습니다.
sacrificed for the nation.
오늘 증서를 받으시는 분은
Those who will be
국가유공자
receiving them
김원갑님,
are the late
국가유공자
Kim Won-gap,
박재권님,
the late Park Jae-kwon, the late Han Byung-gu.
한병구님 세 분이십니다. 이 세 분은 6.25 전쟁에
They have
참전하여
returned to their
전사하고
families
유해
in
발굴이 되어
66 and 68 years respectively after dying during the Korean War.
국가유공자 증서
Person of National Merit Certificate, the late Kim Won-gap. Our Republic of Korea was established based on the contribution and sacrifice of those who sacrificed for the nation. The following certificate is presented in order to eternally remember their patriotism. June 6, 2019, President Moon Jae-in. It will be presented to his brother Kim Do-gap.
외증손 이영호님이
Grandson
함께하고
Lee
계십니다.
Young-ho is also on the stage.
국가유공자 증서
Person of National Merit Certificate, the late Park Jae-kwon. The contents are the same as above. June 6, 2019, President Moon Jae-in.
조카 박정현
It is being awarded to niece Park Jong-yeon.
조카 박영진 님이
His
함께하고
nephew Park
계십니다.
Young-jin is also on the stage.
국가유공자 증서 고
Person of National
한병구님.
Merit Certificate, the late
내용은
Han
같습니다.
Byung-gu.
2019년 6월
June
6일
6, 2019, President Moon Jae-in.
동생 한병열
It's
님께
being awarded
수여됩니다.
to brother
조카
Han
한재균
Byung-yeol
님이
as well
함께하고
as
계십니다.
nephew Han Jae-kyu.
국가유공자 유족분들이 국민 여러분께
They will now greet the public.
인사드리겠습니다. 국민 여러분께 인사. 바로 국가유공자 유족분들께서는
And you
자리로
now
돌아가
may
주시기
return to your
바랍니다.
seats.
다음은 대통령께서
Next, the President will
추념사를
deliver his
하시겠습니다.
memorial address.
존경하는 국민
Fellow
여러분,
Koreans,
국가유공자와
decorated patriots and veterans who served the nation,
나라를 지켜낸
their families and fallen heroes, remember the bravery of fathers who defended the country and the hardships of mothers who protected their families.
돌아오지 못한
We also remember
아버지와
those fathers who could not make it home
가족의
and the
삶을
lives of their
우리는
relatives
기억합니다.
left behind.
우리의 애국은
Our
바로
love for the
이
country
소중한
begins from these
기억에서
invaluable
출발합니다.
memories.
나라를 위한 일에 헛된
No
죽음은
death is in
없습니다.
vain when it is in service to the country. Sacrifices for the nation are honorable acts that should be repaid by our community collectively.
오늘의 우리는
This is
수많은
because
희생 위에
what we are
존재하기
today stems from their countless sacrifices. Honoring patriots and veterans begins with the precious sense of responsibility. We all wish that those who have left us could come home and open the door just like before they have departed. However, our modern history is marked by many being unable to return, leaving behind tremendous suffering. Our caring for patriots and veterans also represents our determination to prevent such a painful history from being repeated. This year marks the centennial anniversary of the March 1st independence movement, as well as the establishment of the Provisional Republic of Korea government. Over the past century, numerous fallen patriotic ancestors and those who rendered distinguished service to the nation have served as our cornerstone. I pay tribute to their noble sacrifices and dedication. My deepest sympathy also goes to their families. Fellow Koreans, here at Seoul National Cemetery, a total of approximately 181,000 heroes have been buried since the first interment of an unknown soldier on January 16, 1956. from heads of state to unknown soldiers, those who have left us, decorated independence activists and persons of national merit, war veterans, police officers, firefighters, those who died while helping others, are all laid at rest here together. The National Cemetery is a site alive with patriotism. Every single person buried here is history by himself or herself, demonstrating the fact that patriotism transcends class, occupation, and ideology. Seoul National Cemetery's burial ground 2 is reserved for rank-and-file soldiers. In this section, there is a general laid to rest in a simple 1평 grave instead of one of the grander 8평 graves normally reserved for generals. The grave belongs to General Tae Myung-sin, who requested in his will to be buried with the rank-and-file soldiers because he was able to be promoted to general, all thanks to those soldiers. General Tae has exerted true military service and spirit even to his death. The story of patriotism is still being told as a living testimony. Seokju Isangyong and Udang Ihwaeyoung are also laid to rest here. The two aristocratic independence activists took the spirit of noblesse oblige to new heights, becoming ordinary citizens. They committed themselves to the independence movement by burning their titles to their slaves, thus emancipating their servants and turning over all of their property for the cause. They discarded their vested interests in the spirit of revolutionary Confucianists and dedicated themselves to the founding of the Republic of Korea. When it comes to patriotism, there is no difference between conservatives and liberals. Love of country is a mindset that regards the destiny of a national community as one's own. Those engrossed in vested interests are not being true to either conservatives or liberal causes. We once endured a time when ideology ruled, when people and thoughts were divided by a contest between conservatives and liberals. However, a harmonious history combining conservatives and liberals permeates today's Republic of Korea. Fused within the independence, democracy, and economic development that we enjoy today are the efforts of conservatives and the liberals. I respect all acts of patriotism, regardless of whether they are from conservative or liberal quarters. The days are gone when society can be characterized as a dichotomy between conservatives and liberals. Everyone by nature can at times be conservative and at times liberal. We pursue stability sometimes and change at other times. Some sectors choose stability and others opt for changes. As long as we avoid extremes and define patriotism within the realm of common knowledge, no matter how we view ourselves, we can move closer to an integrated society. I believe that is what is required to provide patriots and veterans with genuine support in our times. For 5 years up to 1945, when Japan finally surrendered to the Allied forces, the Provisional Republic of Korean government formed a united front between the left and right in Chongqing, China, and founded the Liberation Army. Last March, we held a ceremony to commemorate the restoration of the headquarters of the Korean Liberation Army in Chongqing, China. On December 10, 1941, the provisional government declared all-out war against Imperial Japan, placing the Liberation Army at the forefront. The Korean Youth Battlefield Mission Corps, Kim Won-bong, the anarchist forces, and the Korean Volunteer Army all were incorporated into the Liberation Army. With that combined force, they fought together with British troops against Japanese forces on the India-Burmese front in 1943 and in 1945. They learned of the liberation of their country while preparing to launch a joint operation with the U.S. Kim Gu-long regretted Imperial Japan surrendering before the Liberation Armies in advance. Still, the Unified Liberation Army members' determination to resist, as well as the military capabilities fostered in cooperation with the Allied forces, served as a root of the founding of the Republic of Korea's armed forces following liberation and later becoming the groundwork for the ROK-US alliance. On the meaningful day of April 11th this year, which marked the centennial of the establishment of the Provisional Republic of Korea government, a bipartisan resolution that formally recognizes the provisional government as the root of the foundation of the Republic of Korea was submitted in the U.S. Congress. And this highlights the need of the stronger ROK-US alliance. And next year will mark the 70th anniversary of the start of the Korean War. Under the flag of the UN, some 1.95 million soldiers from 22 countries took part in the war, and approximately 40,000 lost their precious lives. The U.S. endured the greatest sacrifice for the sake of our country's liberty and peace. About 33,000 U.S. warriors lost their lives, and 92,000 others were injured. The government will build a memorial wall of remembrance within the Korean War Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. by 2022. We will honor the noble sacrifices of each and every fallen U.S. Korean War veteran and help the sublime value of the alliance between Korea and the United States become deeply etched on the hearts of both peoples. Today, I ruminate on patriotism again here at the National Cemetery and pledge that every effort will be made to fulfill the duty of the nation for those who made sacrifices for the country and their families. Decorated patriots and their families. Last year, the Accident Compensation Act for public servants was passed into law. This act makes it possible to bestow respective treatment on par with that of regular public servants to contracted workers who lost their lives in the line of their duty. The pension awarded to the bereaved families of the police officers and firefighters who were lost while on duty has been significantly enhanced. Related efforts are also being made this year. An amendment to the Military Service Act will also be pursued. The remains of independence activists that were left overseas have been also repatriated to Korea. Independence activist Kim Tae-yeon from China, Kang Young-gak and Lee Jae-soo from the U.S., and Kye Bong-woo and Hwang Un-jung, as well as their spouses from Kazakhstan, were laid to rest in Seoul National Cemetery and Daejeon National Cemetery. Today, I would like to think about the independence activist Lee Jae-soo's last wish. Someday, I would like to return to Korea and volunteer to build a new, genuinely democratic country. To live up to his last wish, we will strive to help establish a Republic of Korea he would be proud of. Only when decorated patriots and veterans and the families of the fallen have esteem can I consider the nation to be functioning properly. Since January, a project to attach nameplates to identify the homes of people of national merit has been underway. This year and next, nameplates will be attached to the residences of over 400,000 people. I hope that the local community as well as their families will come to recognize this as an honor. I would also like to see our culture take deep root, where regional governments invite people of national merit to their respective events and seat them in the very front row. The government will continue to strive to give people of national merit and their families respectful treatment and welfare benefits. In addition to properly inter people of national merit, Kwesan National Cemetery will be opened in October and the Jeju National Cemetery by 2021. The government will also start to systematically manage cemeteries for decorated independence fighters, including the Hyochang Park, to ensure government maintenance. The government will also devise a plan to exercise its authority to register those persons of national merit who have passed away on an active duty but have no surviving family members. This year, the government will adopt a review system to allow people of national merit to check in advance whether they qualify for burial in a national cemetery. On May 24th, we saw another serviceman depart this life. It happened just as he was about to return to the base after finishing a mission aboard the destroyer of the Republic of Korea Navy Choeyang of the Changhae Unit in the overseas deployment near the Gulf of Aden of Somalia. Petty Officer First Class Choi Jong-gun has been laid to rest here at the Daejeon National Cemetery. His parents, his brother, as well as his colleagues are here together at this venue, and please send them your deep words of comfort and applause. After the inter-Korean military agreement was reached on September 19th last year, the government began eliminating landmines in the DMZ and uncovered the remains of 67 people and some 30,000 articles left by the deceased. The bereaved relatives of those who have been identified during these operations, the late Staff Sergeant Kim Won-gap, the late Staff Sergeant Park Jae-won, and the late Private First Class Han Byung-gu are joining us here today. Please give your deepest comfort through applause. The country's duty is to locate everyone who dedicated themselves to their country until the last person is found. Many of the heroes who have finally reached the arms of the country after a difficult search, however, remain unknown soldiers. There are no DNA samples with which to compare and confirm their identity. If the bereaved families can actively cooperate by helping us secure a larger database from genetic samples, I promise that the government will do its best. Fellow Koreans, people of national merit, and bereaved relatives, over the past century we have overcome colonization, prevailed over profound grief caused by the Korean War, and accomplished democracy and economic growth. The path has never been easy. The path to independence was a solemn one, also taken by those who sacrificed everything they had. To protect the nation which we regained, we fought a war with noble patriotism, but we had to bury fellow soldiers on many hills. Dark shadows still linger as well in the course of our economic growth. We must constantly keep ourselves alert so as not to forget our past but retain it while moving toward the future. While pondering upon the origin of our roots, we must keep an insightful eye on where we are heading. Our hearts harbor numerous songs. Songs about the homeland, those about mothers, and those about fellow soldiers. All of these songs will continue to be sung without the end. The stars of fallen soldiers and those who passed away in the line of duty will shine in our sky eternally. As long as the spirit of our patriotic ancestors is alive within us, the Republic of Korea will never cease its advancement toward the future. I pay my deepest respect to all of the people of national merit once again. Thank you.